If you suffer from bloating, gas, or belching within 1 to 2 hours after your meals, then you, my friend, are suffering from digestive insufficiency. So what does that mean? Well, we're going to get into it in this video, and I'm also going to share a couple other of signs and symptoms that you might need some digestive support, and then we'll talk about some tips on how to help boost your digestion so that you can enjoy your meals and not feel like crap afterwards. I'm Nicole Cieslak. I'm a functional nutritional therapy practitioner specializing in digestive and hormone issues. Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay in the loop when new content is published. I'm sure we've all eaten a meal that hasn't sat too well with us, and that afterwards, an hour or two later, we feel full and gross and just generally blah. That's okay every once in a while, but if on a regular basis you are experiencing those symptoms of gas, bloating, belching, stomach cramps, and anything similar within 1 to 2 hours after your meals, that is a sure sign that your body is not digesting your food properly. Another common symptom that you might experience if you have reduced digestive function would be acid reflux and heartburn. So heartburn is going to be when regurgitated food comes back up from the stomach into the esophagus and it burns because stomach acid is also coming up with the food, and it's not meant to be there. The esophagus is a highly sensitive place, and so even the tiniest bit of stomach acid is going to make the throat feel raw, might burn obviously and linger for a little bit, and can really do some long-lasting damage. So next thing to look out for is just a general feeling of being overly full after your meals, especially if you didn't eat a lot. So if you sit down and you're gonna have a huge meal, of course you're gonna expect to feel full after, but if you're just eating normal portions but you feel totally full and probably bloated after, then you definitely are suffering from some digestive issues. And then same goes for if you feel better without eating meals. You prefer to skip meals or you prefer to skip breakfast. Very clear sign that your body is struggling to digest the food you're eating. Next up is loss of a taste for meat. So oftentimes people will switch to a vegan diet because they suddenly, one day are just like, every time I eat meat, I feel gross, bloated, I have gas, I'm burping, it's not sitting well. And so what that means is that your body is lacking the necessary enzymes and acids required to break down the proteins in your food. And then lastly, if your fingernails peel or chip easily, that is also a sign that you have some digestive insufficiency. So the two main things that we need to break down our foods are digestive enzymes and stomach acid, which is also known as hydrochloric acid, or HCl for short. So the stomach needs to be a highly acidic place, so much so that if you were to take the contents of your stomach and dump it out onto the carpet, it would burn a hole in it. That is because stomach acid erodes and breaks down foods into small molecules so that it can pass through the rest of our body. And also we want stomach acid to kill pathogens, so bacteria, fungi, parasites, anything that is a foreign invader that doesn't belong in our system. Our stomach acid is a great defense mechanism against stopping those things from getting further into our body and wreaking havoc. And so today, unfortunately, we have a lot of issues with producing our own digestive enzymes and stomach acid for a variety of reasons. So stress is the number one factor that's going to reduce digestive capacity, because stress shuts down all of the body's functions and just alters certain chemicals in the brain and functions in the body. And then another reason is just our diet. So diets that are high in sugar and high in refined carbohydrates, processed foods, fast foods, hydrogenated oils, things like canola oil, these are all going to reduce our digestive capabilities because these are all foods that are highly inflammatory and toxic to the body. And then eating in a stressed state or not in a calm state, such as eating on the go, eating in your car, eating while you're watching TV or on your phone, texting or scrolling, Facebook, that is also going to, reduce the body's ability to activate the salivary enzymes and digestive enzymes in juices in the stomach. because the brain doesn't know that it's ready to eat. It's getting mixed signals. Fun fact, digestion actually starts in the brain at the sight, smell, or thought of food. And so, you know, in a lot of cultures, food, you know, eating meals is a ritual. It is something to be, you know, thankful for and to just kind of enjoy. And so you want to eat slowly, you want to savor the meal, you want to really just be appreciative and grateful of that. And so in modern life, we don't have, you know, the luxury of being able to, you know, spend 2 hours eating dinner. So when we are eating on the go, our brain doesn't really acknowledge the fact that, hey, it's time to eat. I need to get these juices going. I need to, you know, start making the stomach acid to break down food. And so you just kind of end up with that lump in your stomach. Then another issue that might be going on here, in addition to digestive enzymes and stomach acid, is that you might have pancreatic insufficiency. So the pancreas is another organ in the body, and it is essential in a lot of things, but one of them being carbohydrate breakdown and food, you know, digestion in general. And so the pancreas does a lot to control, you know, blood sugar and insulin and sugar spikes and things like that. And so when pancreas is overloaded, because the stomach lacks acid and it's having to work overtime, the pancreas has to work overtime. So all of our other organs are put in a stressed state, trying to do what they're supposed to do, but with food that isn't in small, broken down particles. And so we end up with a ton of digestive issues. Okay. So now that you know how to identify if you need digestive support, let's look at a few ways to help boost that process. So first and foremost, if you suffer from low stomach acid, which typically presents as, you know, all the symptoms we discussed, but especially acid reflux and heartburn, then you need to add more stomach acid back in to get the body to start producing its own at the right levels in the future. And so a very food-based approach to do this would be to get some apple cider vinegar with some other, and make sure it's unpasteurized, and add a tablespoon to about, you know, 4 to 6 ounces of water, and you can even squeeze a little bit of lemon juice in there as well if you want, and sip on that, you know, about 30 minutes before meals. That will help get those digestive juices stimulating and will replace any low stomach acid that you might be missing already. If you're like, no, I don't want to deal with apple cider vinegar, it's not my jam, that's cool. There are supplements you can take. So you typically want to look for something called betaine HCl, and it's usually paired with pepsin, and then also sometimes pancreatine, which is a pancreatic enzyme. And then similarly, we can do the same thing with digestive enzymes. So the most common digestive enzymes are lipases, which are for breaking down fat, amylases, which are for breaking down carbs, and then proteases, which are for breaking down proteins. So you can go to your local health food store, or, you know, just Google digestive enzyme supplements, and a wide variety of those options will come up. Sometimes though, people prefer to not take a pill and they want to go a more herbal route, and so you could get some digestive bitters. You want to look for things like, you know, burdock, yellow duck, fennel seed, and other types of bitters, usually in a blend, very easy to find at your health food store. And you want to take a serving of that about 10 to 15 minutes before your meal. And then the last thing, and one of the most important things you can do to optimize your digestion, is to chew your food. So I know this is very basic, we're taking it back to like food 101 here, but these days we scarf down our meals in, you know, 1 to 2 bites, and that leaves food partially undigested, and think about how that can back things up. So you want to, on average, chew a bite of food 25 to 30 times so that it is mush and there are no solid pieces or chunks left, because that is gonna help the body further break down those molecules, those fats, those proteins, those carbs, extract the nutrients, extract, you know, the vitamins and the minerals, and keep it moving through the system so that it can, you know, come out the other end. So that's it for today's video. Hopefully you walked away with some great information on how to identify if you do suffer from digestive insufficiency, and then a few solid tips on how to boost that stomach acid and those enzymes so that you can optimize your digestion. If you like this video, be sure to leave a comment below, drop a question, or share a future topic idea. I'm Nicole. I will see you in the next video. Stay healthy.